Hey everybody, and welcome to the FB and Goop Show and Pack Talk with FB, sponsored by the Good Time Tavern of Livermore, California. Well, week 3, last chance week. This is it, man. 21 players are probably not going to be playing football again until next year, barring injuries and being signed onto a practice squad. 16 players will make a practice squad, and 53 men will make the football team. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about week 3, third preseason game against the Seahawks, which, well, I was impressed, and the 53-man roster, or my predictions, who I think is going to make it. Honestly, some kids shined, a lot of rookies shined. I'm going to make my prediction of who I think is going to make the team, and we'll see what happens. What did we learn in 3 weeks? I think what we needed to learn was Jordan Love has got a possible chance of being a quarterback in the NFL. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 110 passing rating. And from what I saw in his little bit of time against the Seahawks, played well under pressure by running for 30 yards at the same time and gaining first downs. So, this is what we needed. We needed proof that Jordan Love was going to be a great quarterback, or a good quarterback. Week 3, last chance. Last chance for a lot of these players. Praise these rookies that are going to make this team. From Johnson Jr. to Van Ness, to Valentine, to Brooks. Praise Brian Gutekunst for drafting all these young players this year and last year and hopefully next year with the 13 picks we have. So there's going to be a lot of rookies make the team as 53 men, starters and backups to the starters. And I think that excites me. Excites me more than anything, I believe. So week 3 in practice. This is the last week of you can show up and be a part of practice, because after that we start playing football. So all the fun is over. It's time to go. Love continued to shine this week throughout practice, which when we talked about this 3 weeks ago and we started this, the defense was kicking his butt every time. And now it's starting to seem that he's starting to find his way. And he's starting to beat the defense, so which is what we wanted. I said it before. If he can beat this defense, which is supposed to be a hopeful top 5 defense, then he can beat 27 other defenses. So we'll just have to wait and see. Continuing to shine, continuing to build continuity with Jaden Reed and Musgrave, which that's huge because he's already built continuity with Dobbs, and Watson and him are starting to get on the same page. So that's 4 targets. I'm with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon and a top 5 offensive line. So we have a top 5 offensive line, hopefully, fingers crossed, barring injuries. That's what we read. That's what we hear. Hopefully a top 5 defense, and then all the weapons he has. I'm so excited. Throwing to the middle of the field, something that we did not do because Aaron Rodgers did not throw interceptions. Starting to use the middle of the field with guys like Musgrave, with guys like Jaden Reed coming out of the slot. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Defensively, Rashawn Gary now playing with the team, now practicing with the team in contact drills and looking good. That's what we were hoping for. So we'll take 40% of him. Aguilar, Van Ness. There's still talent there to keep him off the field and let him rest more. So excited about that. Both Ford and Savage started both of the last 2 days in practice. So now you get an opportunity to see who the starting safeties are. And then, listen, kicking has been a struggle through practice. Kicking has been just an interesting up and down battle. But I totally believe in him. So I said it before, his brother was with Versace, and that's who made him a superstar. And I think he's just on his way to be the same superstar his brother is. So, Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls before Peyton Manning. So maybe maybe this Carlson will win 2 Super Bowls before that Carlson. We can only hope. Preseason game against the Seahawks. Love looked good under pressure. Seahawks and the Packers both have what I truly believe is maybe 2 of the youngest teams with the most depth. So the Seahawks have just been drafting very well. The Niners are on a limited schedule because I believe the Seahawks are on the same plan as the Packers. Build a strong, youthful team, which we are showing. This whole year we're just showing. This whole beginning of this year, this whole preseason, this practice, the kids we got last year and the kids we got this year is showing you how young we are and how much talent we have. So, once again, Love was 9 for 15, 63 yards, a touchdown, and rushed for like 30 yards and got first downs with his feet. Man, I'm excited to see, because Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to make that move. And as much as I love Aaron, I watched that preseason game. What a beautiful pass by Aaron Rodgers to Garrett. I mean, to whatever the kid name, I don't even care about his name, but what a wonderful, beautiful pass. So, but we don't have that anymore. But what we have is somebody that can escape, run, throw across his body. The poor man Mahomes. That's what, when we drafted him, that's what they said, the poor man Mahomes. I will take the poor man Mahomes today, right now, because Mahomes just wins Super Bowls and is the darling of football. So if we got the poor guy version of it, at least that's 1 or 2 Super Bowls. If we get 2 from Jordan Love, that's something Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, the 2 people we adore most in this whole world, only got us 1 each. So, I don't know. Clifford, again, continues to shine as a second-string quarterback. I think we should be counting our blessings to have a quarterback to back up Love, who has athletic, strong arm, played in the Big Ten, 5 years, captain every year. I mean, man, a lot of guys had to go to other colleges to play football because that was Sean Clifford's team. Heath started with the ones because of Dobbs' injury, kind of foreshadowing who is making the team as the 5th receiver is Malik Heath. Just a guess from me. I guess we'll wait for tomorrow. O-line, once again, if it's not the top 3 or 4 or 5 offensive line in all football, I'll be shocked. Rasheed Walker starting 2 weeks in a row at left tackle lets you know that David Bakhtiari's time in Green Bay is being watched. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Dave, we got like 2 or 3 others. Nyman, Rasheed Walker. So, and, you know, we're a young team. We're moving on. But we kept him because we are going to protect our young superstar quarterback this year. We could have traded him to the Jets, but why? Why not protect the future of the Packers and not the last 2 years of the Jets? We're not protecting that guy. We're protecting the Packers now. So, defense, this is the last game to prove yourself. Van Ness obviously proved himself over and over again through practice, through games, through this game, proved himself. Valentine has done nothing but prove himself. Once again against the Seahawks, has proved himself. If he's not Rasul Douglas should fear this kid, because this kid is a ball hawk with great instincts, who attacks the ball, who just looks for interceptions. Now, as long as that don't bite him in the ass throughout the year, and he doesn't give up long touchdowns because instead of the interception, he just watched somebody run down the field, is yet to be seen. But excited for him. Cox Jr., very excited for him. From what we keep being told, he should have been a 2nd-round pick, and we didn't take him there. Most likely going to make the team as the 6th edge, which we are going to go over because I don't take multiple players in a lot of positions. I think we're good. And then, once again, bad week of practice, fantastic game. 43 and 58 for Carlson. Blocked extra point, but, well, what can you say? Nobody's perfect. They actually looked very well covered by the Seahawks on the way they did it and blocking the extra point. So we're not going to blame Carlson for that. 58 yards, though, was showing you what his leg can do. His accuracy, need to work on it. So let's go over that. Hey, the game was great. We won 19-15. As I said, I believe both these teams had depth. That's why the score was so low. I mean, these teams have huge depth on defense. Both teams have huge depth on defense. From what we saw from the Seahawks last year is they just drafted defense from cornerback and safety. And from what the Packers have is just a lot of young depth on defense. And I think we're in a good place. But let's talk about that. And that's the 53-man roster. Obviously, we only need two quarterbacks, Jordan Love and Sean Clifford. And I hope that Magoo, and I would assume that Magoo is just going to get signed to the practice squad unless we release him and somebody jumps on him. But I don't see that. Running backs, just two. We're just two, and I only say two because there's so many positions on the team that need to be filled. So Jones and Dillon, that's it. There will be players kept on the team for special teams, and they also play running back, but I'm not keeping them on the team as a running back. I'm keeping them on the team as special teams. Tight ends, three. I don't think we need more than three. Between Musgrave, Kraft, and DeGuara, I think we're in a good place. And DeGuara backs up in the backfield playing fullback, so he plays two ways, and I think we're fine. Where we keep depth at is that, for my personal opinion, is wide receiver, because there's so much talent and depth in that position. I think we should just load the team up with it. So Watson, Dobbs, Reed, Torrey, of course. As I told you, Malik Heath was the starter for the game against the Seahawks, which kind of told you that he was making the team, because when Dobbs is down, Malik Heath takes his place. Wicks and DeBose, and I take DeBose, and I think he's the one we keep because I enjoyed his blocking. A couple of times against the Patriots, huge blocks, same with the Seahawks. And I think if you Lazard and, well, we already seen, if you watch the Jets game, Randall Cobb's capability of doing a crack back block, which just crushed that dude. So Randall Cobb was also a great blocker. So I think DeBose will make the team because LaFleur is that running kind of, we're going to run the ball a lot. Don't be surprised. Linemen, wow, we are just loaded at line. Bakhtiari, of course, Elton Jenkins, Myers, Runyon, Nyman, Toms. The future of the team, apparently Rasheed Walker. Sean Ryan. There's so many. I think we have like 8 good linemen and 9 good linemen. We'll keep them all. Royce Newman, I believe, will be cut. I believe he just had such a terrible preseason and in practice, just so many mistakes. Myers at center is a question, just because of all the bad snaps, and it's frightening. But he's going to make the team. Defensive line, of course, or just defensive tackle, I think we are scary. Between Slayton, Kenny Clark, and Wyatt, Van Ness, who can be inside and outside. With Gary coming back, more practice this week with interior linemen. So that's what makes him special. And then Wooden and Carl Brooks just showed up out of nowhere and have had a phenomenal preseason and training camp and have earned their way, I believe, onto the Green Bay Packers. So good for them. Defensive end, of course, we are stacked with Gary and Smith and Iguabara and Hollins and Cox Jr., who did nothing but have the most pressures through the whole preseason. 3 against the Seahawks alone. Fumbles. I believe we'll just keep him because if we let him go or release him, somebody else will sign him. We won't get him on the practice squad. You keep depth. Inside linebacker, Campbell, Walker, McDuffie, who I liked last year, who will not only be great at middle linebacker in Campbell's absence in the beginning, Quay Walker's absence, will play fantastically on special teams. There is a depth player all the way around. And then Wilson, because you need at least 4. And then Wilson shines on special teams again. Once again, another shining star on special teams that can come in and add depth to a position. Cornerbacks, I don't think we'll keep. Stokes is a huge thing here. depends on where he ends up week 1. Is it the PUP list or is it the active roster list? Valentine, I think, fills in as, Valentine is on the team. So Douglas and Alexander playing cornerback with Keyshawn Nixon at slot, awesome. I think Valentine comes in and fits right in there. I don't think we keep more than 5 of them, and that's just because we keep Stokes, but where is Stokes when we start this whole thing? Safety, Ford and Savage, they started this whole week. Owens and Moore for depth and age. I like Owens. And then here we go, another rookie. Praised this week, Anthony Johnson Jr. I think he just makes the team. All this young depth, once again, here we go. Shout out Brian Gutekunst. All the young depth. 13 more picks next year. That's insane. We're killing it. Special team keepers. This is this depth that I talked about. I've mentioned him already. Patrick Taylor, he's going to stay just because of his play on special teams. And then he gets to be the 3rd running back. He will be the 3rd running back on the team. Eric Wilson, Donald Levette. There you go. That he stays on the team to play special teams, and he fits right back in on defense. Carlson, he's going to be fine. He's going to win 2 Super Bowls, and his brother's going to win 1. So, and Whelan, who we now have officially made the punter of the team since we cut O'Donnell. So, shout out to O'Donnell. Thanks for last year. You fit in good with Crosby. This year, we're going young. And then practice squad. I cannot tell you who the Packers are going to keep on practice squad. I have no clue. But I have some hopefuls. Emmanuel Wilson, I hope they keep Emmanuel Wilson. I think he was a shining star in preseason, and I think he had some great runs, and he showed capability, and he had a really great one cut go. But at the same time, he's not going to be Aaron Jones. He's not going to be A.J. Dillon. And I don't think he shows up on special teams like Patrick Taylor. So here we go. We're keeping Patrick Taylor. But Emmanuel Wilson to the practice squad, I hope. Magoo to the practice squad unless somebody magically picks up the kid from the USFL. And Bo Melton, who wore Donald Driver's jersey and I had my fingers crossed for him, but he got injured. So I'm hoping he gets kept. I really do. There was a couple other receivers that just, if you keep him, you keep him. I really don't know. And Tariq Carpenter, I liked him from last year. I think there's a lot of good talent on the team still, but I think if we keep on the practice squad, he can be brought up for special teams. And he could play safety, linebacker, I guess, in that position. Ballantyne, I like Corey Ballantyne. I don't think he makes the team, but if we could slip him into the practice squad and he doesn't get picked up by somebody else, I would be okay with that. And Enos Gaines, who has been a good Packer for quite a while, and I would hate to see him go anywhere else. I just don't think, throughout the injuries through training camp, I just don't think he made a name for himself. So, and I would assume that other players will be cut by other teams, and the Packers will probably pick up a few of them and put them on the team. You can only keep 53. You can only put 16 on the roster for the practice squad. So tons of teams are going to cut 21 players, and I'm assuming the Packers will pick up a couple of them. Well, happy Monday this time. It's not a Sunday. If you enjoy this, make sure you subscribe to the FB and Goop Show. I am FB. I'm the Packer fan. Go Pack, go. Peace.